What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the second half of the second half of the NFL Mock Draft 2020 of the Lose Your Ass podcast. Here with Deirdre, we have just chosen picks 17 through 24, and we're going to continue with picks 25 through 32. First, we're going to give you a rundown of the picks that we chose, 17 through 24. Deirdre, if you want to lead us off with your 17th pick with Dallas.
So I had the Cowboys taking Clavon Jason out of LSU. I had Miami taking Josh Jones. I had the Raiders taking Christian Fulton. The Jaguars taking Jeff Gladney. San Francisco, via a trade with the Eagles, taking Justin Jefferson. The Vikings taking Denzel Mims. The Patriots taking AJ Epinenza. The Saints, and then I ended it with the Saints taking Kenneth Murray.
All right. Over here I had 17 Dallas taking Xavier McKinney, Alabama safety. 18 Dolphins taking Patrick Queen, LSU linebacker. Go Tigers. 19 I had the Raiders trading away their 19th pick to the Vikings, and the Vikings taking Neville Gallimore, Oklahoma defensive lineman. At number 20, I had Jacksonville taking Jordan Love, quarterback out of Utah. At number 21, via a trade with the Eagles at the 9th pick, the 21 pick goes to Jacksonville, where they drafted C.J. Henderson, cornerback out of Florida. Number 22, I had Vikings taking Josh Jones, Houston offensive lineman. Number 23, I had the New England Patriots trading down and giving the Giants their first-round pick in exchange for a Giants second-round pick, and the Giants taking Ezra Cleveland out of Boise State, offensive lineman. And at 24, me and Deirdre went with the same way here, with the New Orleans Saints taking Kenneth Murray, Oklahoma linebacker.
And now we are starting back up with the 25th pick, which you traded away, and I believe this is the... Who is it? Who would you trade this with?
I had the Raiders here.
Raiders, right.
Vikings. And I have the Raiders making a splash here.
I'm interested. Let's do it.
And a steal at this position as well. I have the Raiders taking A.J. Terrell, cornerback out of Clemson.
Ooh, they need a cornerback.
Yeah, I believed from the get-go that Terrell was going to end up a Raider. All the experts are agreeing Terrell is going to end up a Raider, but with the 19th pick, I don't think they're going to need to take him that early. I think they're going to trade down with the Vikings and grab him at 25, solidify up that secondary a little bit. I've had the Raiders addressing some other issues in this draft earlier on, but I think that'll be the move for them. Get them going defensively. He's a big splash, big player. Those are the other Tigers. I call them the other guys. They're not the real Tigers.
Okay, I like that pick. I think.
Regardless, Terrell is a great player.
Yeah.
I thought, but there was a great chance that he does not end up slipping to 25.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's their biggest need. I think it's always important that a team's biggest needs are addressed.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I could see them, and someone with a championship caliber, good kid. Didn't get into too much trouble, which you need. So I see where you're going with that. I think that's a great pick for them, and that's what they need. And I believe they get a second-round pick, right, out of it as well.
Yes.
So that doesn't hurt when you're a team that needs a lot of help.
Absolutely. Yeah, and the Raiders, they do have some draft picks to move around. So.
Right. They have a lot.
Vegas is going to be interesting.
Yeah, it is. I think it's going to be interesting. Like I said, the cornerback and wide receiver class, any of them could go at any position. So I think you hit it right on the head. I did not trade this pick away, however, so I do have the Vikings picking, and I do have them picking Jalen Johnson, Utah quarterback. So I went a similar route that you did, except I went with Jalen Johnson. He's a junior. He had 2 interceptions, 36 tackles in total. He had a good season. His physical traits are incredible. I think he ran a 4.5. He is 6 foot 193. 9 to 3/8 hands size. His pro comp is Shaquille Griffin. He was a first team All Pac-12 team. He did his work on and off the field as well. He had a very good 3.6 grade point average, which is always good to have a smart player on your team, especially after losing a veteran like Xavier Rhodes. So I think that's pretty impressive. So he, in his sophomore season, interesting enough, he had 126 interception return yards and a score. So he was a second team Associate All-American, first team All-Pac-12 in 2019. He posted a team high 11 pass breakups, as well as 36 tackles and 2 interceptions. So he has the smarts to make your team better, and this is one of your biggest needs. So I think it's a win-win. Any of the cornerbacks left would be a big win for the Vikings to grab.
Yes.
This kid just seems like he'll fit the Viking system, and I believe he is young, so he's only a junior. So to get someone in there young is good, especially after you lost a lot of your veteran presence on that team.
Huh. All right, so we both went cornerback, just for different teams.
Different teams.
Have you had AJ Terrell drafted yet?
I have not.
Okay.
Which I know you're a big fan of, but I was not. But you know what? That's, again, topic for our big draft show that we're having on Thursday.
Yes.
And we cannot wait for it.
Exciting.
Very exciting. So, with the 26th pick, I have it traded away, but I know you have Miami. I know you were so excited to tell me about this Miami, who you have Miami taking.
I am.
So who do you have Miami taking?
We have addressed quarterback,
linebacker,
and now one more thing. In the first round, I have them taking Isaiah Wilson, offensive lineman out of Georgia.
Georgia boy.
I am excited for this pick for one reason. A, he's going to be blocking Tua. B, and this is my teaser alert, he's going to be blocking for a running back from the same school.
Spoiler alert, huh?
Yeah, my second round picks.
Wow. But, okay, so I think they need to go an offensive lineman here. Obviously, I had them address it in 18 because I traded away this pick, but
yeah,
they need to protect Tua. Tua is injury prone. He has had a rough time with injuries, and their offensive line was abysmal last year. So I think definitely needing to adjust the offensive line, and I think you're grabbing someone from probably, don't want to hurt your feelings, but the best offensive line that was in college football last year.
Yeah. That's fine. That doesn't hurt my feelings.
Georgia was a great offensive line.
They were. You have to give them that.
Yeah. So, I think that's a great pick for you. Two Georgia offensive linemen in the first round. That's pretty impressive.
Absolutely. Maybe one more.
You never know.
Yeah, I think that's the way to go for Miami. I think Miami, to address three key position deficiencies in the first round of the draft, they're open to change this team completely around in this draft alone.
Yeah, 100%. And they have a young team, a young coach. They will make big waves in this draft, and I think that's just one of the waves that they're going to make. I do not have them doing that, obviously, because they don't have this pick in my draft. I have the Detroit Lions. The Lions are taking care of another need with Yetur Gross-Matos out
Ooh,
of Penn State. 6'5", 264. He had 40 total tackles last year, 9.5 sacks. He was the Penn State's Defensive Lineman of the Year award. He also earned third team All Big Ten honors as a sophomore, and he moved up to first team All Conference this year, acing his defense with 15 tackles for loss. That's impressive. He is the essential boomer bust prospect right now.
right.
So I think they're going to go this way. It's another need. Defense was terrible last year. They did address some of those needs in free agency, but I think they go with Yetur Gross-Matos as an edge. And I think a lot of people, it's so crazy because people haven't gone all the way up, all the way down. I think if Detroit has this pick, this is what they need to do. They're continuing to build on that defense, and I think that he's going to be that person that they need. So, I mean, he posted 35 tackles for loss and 17.5 sacks as a 2-year starter. It's impressive, especially in a Big 12. So, you know, he's good. He has a perfect combination of size, athleticism, and agility. He has the athleticism of a linebacker while being a defense tackle. He's a really good chaser down at the line of scrimmage. He does a good job. So I think that they are going to go this route. They need an edge. It's probably their third biggest need. First being cornerback, which they addressed with Jeff Okudah in my draft. So I think, they need all the help they can get. This is another thing I said. My only problem with Jeff Okudah is that he's going to go to Detroit. And it's kind of the same. I feel bad for anyone who has to go to Detroit. But we are now going with the 27th pick, the Seahawks, who had a great year and then just kind of laid an egg in the playoffs and kind of like the last half of the year. Which way do you have the Seahawks going?
Well, after you just went on your little rant, after you just went on your little rant, this man needs no introduction. I have Seattle taking Yetur Gross-Matos from Penn State.
Wow. Yeah, that's a great pickup for them.
Time for Pete Carroll to rebuild the boom.
The Legion of Boom.
Yes. That defense has become atrocious. Clowney's a bum. He'll never go back. So I think you need to fill that defensive line back up with all these studs. You got to have somebody big coming off that edge. I think Matos solves that issue for all of the accolades that you have said. The guy can play the game. And I think James Franklin, head coach of Penn State, is very, very tough defensively. And for Matos to go to Seattle to a defensive-minded coach like Pete Carroll, I think it would be a good match for him. I think it would elevate his game.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. And always going to a team that has had success doesn't hurt as a rookie.
Right.
So I agree with you on that.
I would also say for this, I would say offensive lineman. However, there will never be a day in my lifetime that the Seahawks get offensive line help for Russell Wilson. So I threw that one right out the window.
Which brings me to my pick, which is an offensive lineman.
It's
I
never
haven't taken Austin Jackson. I haven't taken Austin Jackson, 6'5", 322 out of USC. I just want to put obviously he's an incredible player. He started all 13 games at left tackle in 2019. He got first team All Pac-12 notice for his efforts. But the most important thing that he did was donate bone marrow to his younger sister in the summer of 2019, knowing that he might not be able to play this year, which just shows what an absolutely incredible young man this kid is. And I think the Seahawks have a very incredible man at quarterback, so to have an incredible young man at protecting him isn't too far off. Plus USC, Pete Carroll, I think that this would be a home run. They need to protect him because, we don't want him to get hurt. We do not want him to get hurt. And this Austin Jackson is just an incredible kid. So I give him all the credit in the world for what he did for his sister. But which is even more impressive than his first team All Pac-12 accolades. Kudos to him and kudos to Seattle if they do finally get help for Russell Wilson.
They won't. I don't know why. They never had.
And now we have
a
hot team who came off. Now we have a hot team that's coming off a pretty embarrassing playoff loss, but had an incredible year with their second year starting quarterback, Lamar Jackson. What are the Ravens doing? They lost Yonda to retirement. What are they going to do here?
The Ravens are going to sit up and walk out of the draft room and go hang out and wait for their number 2 pick.
Trade alert, trade alert.
Trade alert. And I have a team that did not have a first round pick moving up here. That's the Indianapolis Colts. And it's time for on to your hat scenario. Phillip Rivers is on a what? 1-year deal?
1 year, $25 million, yes.
Yeah, 1 year, $25 million. Nonsense. But the person that they are taking is not ready. So, get prepped. The Indianapolis Colts, I have them taking Jake from State Farm.
Wow, you're really putting that reach on. Can you reach that far? How far can you reach?
This is the extension reach. This is the reach around.
This is a Yao Ming type reach.
Yes. I think the Colts, and this is where I said that they're going to get scared. With all the other quarterbacks going up the list, I think the Colts are going to be looking for a quarterback for their future. I don't think Phillip Rivers is their future. And I don't think that the hefty lefty is going to be a...
Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah, he gets chubbier every day. I understand it. His jersey keeps getting bigger. I don't think Brissett is their future. I think they're going to take a future pick here. I know that they could get him later, but I think fear will drive them to make a trade. I think the Ravens is a smart team to make it with. The Ravens are pretty well-rounded.
Don't you fat shame Jacoby Brissett. Could you imagine having to be in a locker room with avocado ice cream eating Tom Brady? If you went to Indianapolis, you would say, hey, I'm going to eat all this bar food. There's tons of awesome bars here. I'm going to have a good time. I'm so done with that stupid Brady way, the TB12 treatment. You leave Jacoby alone.
That is true. That is true. I forgot about that. Now, how come Jimmy G didn't get fat?
You know, let's be realistic here. Jimmy G doesn't have much going for him other than being very, very good looking. Jacoby Brissett seems cool. Everyone loves Jacoby Brissett. Everyone does love Jimmy G too. My sister would kill me if I didn't say everyone loves Jimmy G.
You're who?
My sister would kill
really?
me if I told. Oh, big Jimmy G. She's a Patriots fan. Was heartbroken when they traded Jimmy G. Shout out Patricia. Old program. I can see the Colts moving up to grab a quarterback or a wide receiver.
Yes.
But I can see them moving back up into the first round.
Yeah. Jake Fromm, State Farm.
Exactly. Perfect.
I personally don't like Jake Fromm, so I can see the Colts taking them because I think in all of my years of watching football, I have hated every Colts quarterback. And yes, that includes the great one.
So you hated Peyton and Andrew Luck.
Yes, I can't stand Andrew Luck.
What kind of monster doesn't love Andrew Luck?
I said for years that Andrew Luck was a cat.
He literally says good job to every guy who hits him. How can you not love Andrew Luck?
Yeah, good job.
We have a lot of problems to work through.
I ended my career because I'm not tough enough to play football.
He basically was standing on one leg after all of this. Give him a break. So you, as
Morris,
we'll talk about how you hate the Colts. We'll talk about how you hate Indianapolis Colts quarterbacks in other things, but you do have Indiana moving.
Just the Indianapolis.
You have Indiana moving up with the Ravens, and I think that's a good call because the Ravens pretty much addressed issues in free agency and were pretty good to begin with. Yeah. So I agree with you. I do not have them trading, however. I have them grabbing Patrick Queen out of LSU.
No, yeah. He's been gone for 10 picks.
For you, not for me. He trades in one red for another red. I mean, one purple for another purple. Sorry. For another red. Trades one purple for another purple, and it's their biggest need. Linebacker is their biggest need. So, makes sense. Coming from a championship background, always, like I said, always helps. You will continuously hear me say that because it does. It helps you a lot. He's only 20 years old. He turns 21 in August. So you have a young team to begin with, which is always good. He's 6 foot 229. He ran a 4.5. Incredible. We're good. That was very fast for a linebacker. So I think he fits the need. I think he fits that Ravens defense that we all know and love from back in the day with Lewis, Reed type situation. I agree that he is great, and I think that he's going to fit well with this team. He's a winner. 3 sacks, 1 interception, 85 total tackles last year.
Cool.
So that's good. That's really good.
Getting drafted.
Well, we only did the first round. I would probably say he would get drafted in the third round. I wouldn't have him go in the first round. Yeah, I would go third round.
So you have Eason going first then?
Well, I still haven't had Jordan Love, so Jordan Love would go before any of them.
Oh,
and then
I have Jordan Love yet. Okay.
Yeah, I haven't had Jordan Love yet, and Then I'd probably go Eason, and then I'd probably go Hurts, and then I'd probably go Fromm.
Yeah. You know how I feel about Hurts.
I know how you feel about Hurts. I do. Next, we got the Tennessee Titans, who we think made a very bozo move, franchise tagging Derrick Henry, but signing Ryan Tannehill to a $28 million deal off one good season. They lost a couple people in free agency in Jack Conklin, Logan Ryan.
Yep.
Who do you have them taking?
I went with the experts here. And I have them taking Jeremy Chin.
Safety, Southern Illinois.
Yes. Yes. That's the position they need to mainly address. It looks like he'll be the best available pick at that point in the draft for me. On my safety board at least. I don't know much about him. I read some stuff about him, but I don't really. I didn't see many games. So I had to lean.
Yeah, Southern Illinois doesn't really make the headlines.
Yeah, plus I have no safeties left. But I'm not going to take a second round safety and put him there. It just doesn't make logical sense for me to win 50
You're
bucks.
not. You're going to put him ahead of your boy Delpit?
Who?
Grant Delpit?
Oh, I just had you break up. I didn't hear what you said.
Grant Delpit, would you have him ahead of your boy, your LSU boy?
On a skill rank, yeah, I do.
Wow.
I'm not a big fan of him. He's not my boy that much. He's on my team, but he's not my boy.
I just assume any LSU player is your boy.
Most of them.
That's wrong of me. That's wrong of me.
Yeah. No, I have him ranked higher on my draft board, and after McKinney came off the board, he's the best safety available. Tennessee's boys might not be my boys. You know. I'm just trying to win 50 bucks.
I got you. Listen, I get it. I get it. But after what you said about Andrew Luck, you do not deserve it. So I have them taking a D tackle. I have them taking Ross Blacklock out of TCU. If it's a need that they have, I know people are probably getting tired of me saying if it's a need, but I truly believe that if it's a need. He was first team All Big 12 with 40 tackles, 9 for loss, 3.5 sacks in 12 starts. He comes from an athletic background. His dad is actually a University of Texas Hall of Famer.
Really?
Forward with the Harlem Globetrotters, which is interesting.
Oh,
He's extremely athletic. He comes from an athletic family. He's relentless on the pass rush. He gives you his all the time. Problem is, he did miss all of 2018 with an Achilles tear, which could, Achilles tears are rough, as we know. But that didn't stop him from coming back and making an all Big 12 team, and he's a menace. Very, very quick, as you can tell. Definitely gets that from his father, who toured with the Harlem Globetrotters. So I think that this is the pick they're going to go. Another Belichick boy with Vrabel. So I see them going defense here. Their defense is what really lost the most in free agency. So to go with an athletic guy in a league where you have Deshaun Watson twice a year, very athletic player, and you don't know who Jacksonville's going to bring back, and to have him going against a guy like Phillip Rivers, I don't think will hurt.
Yeah.
And with that, we go to a team that you told me you love, and then all of a sudden, you told me you didn't like. So I'm confused with the Green Bay Packers.
When did I tell you that I like the Packers?
I'm gonna screenshot where you told me you like the Packers. Send it to you.
Yeah, you gotta find this one.
I will. I will find it.
With the 30th pick, I have the Packers taking. This man needs no introduction. Hank Blaylock. Blacklock, sorry. Hank. Do you remember Hank Blaylock?
Hank Black? No.
Hank Blaylock used to play on the Toronto Blue Jays, I think it was. Back in like the late 90s, early 2000s, he was a baseball player.
Okay.
That's the name that I just messed up.
Gotcha. I figured that. So you're talking. Who do you have him drafting, Ross?
I said the whole name too. Hank Blaylock.
Yeah, I was like,
sorry,
who is that?
I have Ross Blacklock.
That makes more sense.
Oh man.
So I have a question. Are you picking the guys after me so I can do all the work for you and explain everything about them so you just can sit back and look pretty?
Pretty much.
Is-
Pretty much. No, you should see. I got really mad. I just like ripped my notes up. When you did that a second time, I just started shredding them. I put the microphone on mute, started ripping stuff up. That's twice now, and I don't appreciate this.
You're welcome for doing all the work for you.
I'm glad I did the work, and I've not even gotten to get any credit for it. I really, really like this idea for Green Bay because their defense. I can't even talk tonight. Good lord, their defense is atrocious. Atrocious. They haven't been good since. Who was the last guy that they had on the defensive side of the football that was good? Who was that guy that was like always naked in magazines?
Clay Matthews.
Clay Matthews. They need to get better defensively, get better quick, and like you said, Rabel is out of Belichick's school of coaching, and Belichick's school of coaching says defense first. Packers need to fix that defense, and they need to get rid of Aaron Rodgers ASAP. We'll talk more about that another day. So I think this is the right step. I don't trust any of the Horned Frogs, but I'll allow this to happen. Did you just say what? Yeah, Aaron Rodgers needs to go.
Did you just have an issue with quarterbacks today? I don't know what's wrong.
Aaron Rodgers is terrible.
Ooh.
Look at his completion percentage over the past 3 years.
Okay.
It's like Y equals MX plus B. So
I'm not a big fan of Aaron Rodgers either, so I
don't.
I wouldn't say he's terrible, but.
But I don't think they're gonna take a quarterback in this draft because Aaron will get upset. But they do need to fix the defense ASAP. Blacklock is a solid defender. Even though he's from TCU, I'll give him a little bit of credit. He still has to play the position. Big, strong kid. And everything you said, all of his accolades, and his dad was a globetrotter.
Right.
I think that's the pick that they go with at number 30.
Just retweet what I said. Retweet.
Yeah, that's the key.
That's the key.
Doppelganger.
Doppelganger. I have the Packers getting help for the man that you hate, with wide receiver Brandon Ayuk out of Arizona State.
That's a solid pick. I was going to take it for the Ravens.
6'2", 205. He actually transferred from Sierra College in 2018, where he had 89 receptions, 1,533 yards, and 19 touchdowns in 2016 to 2017. And as a returner, had 2 kick return scores, 1 punt return scores. And then while he was at Arizona State, he was a third-team Associated Press All-American and first-team All-Pac-12 honors, leading the Sun Devils with 65 receptions for 1,192 yards and 8 scores. He was also one of the best returners in the country with 14 returns, 226 yards, and 16.1 average, as well as 1 touchdown on punts. 14 returns, 446 yards, 31.9 average on kickoff. But he did go through muscle surgery recently, but I think he'll be ready to go by the season start, whenever that happens.
They don't need a return man, though. They have Aaron Rodgers. He does everything.
God, here we go.
He's God to football.
I have a question. Are you a Brett Favre guy? Is that why this is such a problem for you?
Oh, I hate Brett Favre, too.
But Brett Favre was my favorite quarterback of all time, so
what?
We won't fight. Can't fight right now.
Correct.
I had every single one of his jerseys when I was growing up. By the way, no longer my favorite quarterback after my experience with Vinny Testaverde. So no longer my favorite quarterback.
I bet. I want to get into that on another episode. I want to talk about that Testaverde story.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's awesome.
Great.
But now we have the NFC again, the NFC champs last year, who just missed it. Could have been bad reffing. Could have been Kyle Shanahan again. You'll never know. Who do you have San Francisco picking with the 31st pick in the NFL draft?
This one?
I'm ready.
This one might be a shock to everybody. I have the 49ers taking Jalen Johnson.
Oh. Way to trick people out.
At a Utah cornerback. They need a little bit of help over there. I think that just solid play. I mean, you had Johnson going somewhere, correct?
I had Johnson going to the Vikings, I believe.
That's right.
Yes.
Okay, because I'm reading through his stats, and I remember these stats coming up, and I don't remember where I heard them. I just remembered it was you.
It's me.
2 interceptions. He's not Richard Sherman. He's better. So, it's a replacement piece. I think that they could fix this. I think the only real weakness for the 49ers
is their secondary.
Is that, yeah, exactly. He's the best cornerback available at that point in the draft.
Right.
You have to take him. You took him, I think, what? At
biggest need.
25 maybe? No, 22, right?
Wait, what?
You had Mike
25. I had him at 25.
Okay, yeah, that's the very restricted. All right, so yeah, I mean, if he's available at that point, that's a no-brainer for the 49ers. Ensure that secondary. Fix those issues, win the Super Bowl.
I went the same route that you did, but with a guy that you absolutely adore, with A.J. Terrell, Clemson, 6'1", 195 pounds, ran a 4.42. This year, Terrell finished his career as the first team all-conference as well. He started all 15 games, recording 37 stops, 2 interceptions, and 6 pass breakups. So he had a great year, as well as his 2018, the championship season. He earned 3rd-team All-ACC honors, tackles, 2 for loss, 7 pass breakups, 2 forced fumbles. So I have him going to the San Francisco 49ers and learning under a legend of Richard Sherman. And if I didn't say that, he would have. So. I think cornerback is the way that San Fran has to go. We saw, well, it wasn't really the receiving that killed them in the Super Bowl, but yeah, they're right away from it. I just hope they don't have that NFC curse of going to that Super Bowl and not really coming back after losing. Because that has been like a curse the last couple of years with Carolina, Atlanta, LA. We don't know about LA yet. If San Fran doesn't go back, so we'll see what happens. And now we are headed to the Super Bowl champion Chiefs, whose offense was absolutely incredible, and we're at our officially hit our last leg. So, who do you have the Chiefs taking?
All right, so this is where it is a no-brainer for me. They need assistance on that defensive line immediately. The best player to me available at this point is Jordan Elliott out of Missouri, defensive tackle. He's a junior, 6'4", 302 pounds. He 5'02" for a defensive tackle isn't bad. I like the fact that Kansas City is so well-rounded offensively. You can't really find a weakness. So they can kind of just focus on the defensive side of the football in this draft. I'm not even sure if they have a second-round pick.
Not 100% sure either. What is that?
But I mean, this. Let me see here. Only 2.5.
Checking into that.
On that second-round pick.
Yeah, I'm checking in for it. They do. They have second to last second-round pick.
Okay. Yeah.
So pick 63.
Elliott won't light up the board statistically. But he's gets around quick. I've watched some of those games last year when I'm very bored, turn on a Missouri game. He's like the guy that stands out to you when you're watching the game. You know, it's like you ever watch a Rutgers game, and you can admit it. There's always like one player, and just like you're like, oh, who's that guy? And then you're like, oh, never mind. This guy's like, oh, who's that guy? I want to see him play more.
I got you. I see where you're going with that. Kansas City's defense was definitely their weak point last year, but was much better than the year before. And even at their weak point, they weren't terrible. But I do agree they need some help on the defensive side. I did go a little different than you. I went with, and you know how much I love this guy, Noah Igbinoghene out of Auburn, who started his career in Auburn as a wide receiver. He has also competed on Auburn's track squad, finishing 7th in the long jump at the SEC Indoor Championship. His parents are track athletes from Nigeria. His mother won a bronze medal with the relay team in 1994 and finished 5th with that team in 1996. His father attended Mississippi State and won 5 SEC titles in long jump and triple jump. But he was converted from a wide receiver to a cornerback, and he's also an incredible returner, as he had 11 returns, 311 yards, 28.3 average, and he had 1 touchdown. And let me get to his stats as a quarterback, as I just gave every other stat that he had. He had 42 tackles, 1 for loss, 7 pass breakups, and I think that's incredible for someone who's only been playing for 2 years. And anytime you have an extremely athletic person who comes from a very athletic family, I think it's always good. And we know how much the Chiefs love their kick returners.
Yeah.
So he's very strong, he's very physical, he's extremely athletic, and I think the more he learns, the better he's going to get. and to have a veteran presence like Tyrann Mathieu on the team, I think this might be the last year that the Chiefs are really able to compete before the cap really hits them, when they have to pay $40 million essentially to Patrick Mahomes, and that's going to affect the other players on the team. So I think this might be their last year. So why not go all in with an athlete and a cornerback, which is one of their biggest needs, in Noah Benogany, who is also a junior.
All right. Well, that wraps up the top 32 and our first round 2020 mock draft.
Let us know how we did.
This was fun.
Let us know how we... Ooh, go. You first.
Oh, I was just saying this was fun.
Let us know how we did. Who do you think is going to win the 50 Poland Spring bottles of water? And keep tuned with us, because Thursday we're going to have our draft celebration. We are working out all the kinks right now, and we cannot wait for you all to watch. Thanks.